Yeah.
I'll ask these
Kill 'em.
ones and then I'll figure it out. We'll just roll it?
Yeah.
Kill 'em.
Yeah.
What is it like being in like a long distance relationship? Uh, I wouldn't know how to relate to that, but like how what I could draw from is being in a relationship with someone that our like schedules don't connect. Like being an actor, like is very busy, and then she was an actor as well, so we never really had time to. Like it was just very hard. Like whenever we were supposed to meet up and whatnot, and then that could really like weigh down a relationship because then there's not much communication and texting nowadays and all that. That's not like real, like a real connection with someone. You know, it's not the same with like actually being in a room. Like even saying nothing, just sitting down saying nothing is.
You're still there, you're sharing
Yeah,
energy.
yeah.
I've been in a long distance relationship. God, I'll never do it again. if I knew we were in it for the long haul and it was never going to end and like we were married and committed and stuff, I could do long distances apart for like, you know, extended periods of time, but it's hard. And the reason why it's really hard and what I've found is that, you know, you talk all the time, you try to, but to do that, you have to pull yourself out of the world that you're in and put yourselves both in this world that's kind of existing only between the two of you and only through either phone or nowadays FaceTime and Skype and stuff like that. But it's like tragically like happy because you'll have moments together, like really beautiful moments, and you'll connect, you know, on an idea or something, and the next thing you want to do is just like maul them, and you know, you just want to, but you can't share that moment. The physicality isn't there, and then you both remember that you're really far away, and then it's immediately followed up by this kind of sad, frustrated vibe, just like fuck, why are you across like the entire world right now? And you know it's going to be a long time before you see them, so it's, I don't know, it just gets really frustrating, and then because we're creatures of connection and we need affection, we need we need that. It's how we exchange energy. Like you transfer so much energy with, you know, the touch of a hand. You feel that it travels through the person. It's an instant connection. And without that, the relationship's only getting a small section of what it needs. And you could be emotionally the most supportive person in the world, and vice versa. It could both be there, but it's still challenging, and depending on how much you need to be touched and loved, and I don't know, it varies. Some people need more love, and if you meet somebody who's also really wonderful in your real world, then there's this strain and you know, a contest for. It's just hard. Long distance is hard. Let's wrap it there, yeah. Period. I could try and articulate it in a million different ways all day, but bottom line, it's hard.
That's hard.
For me, it's initially his brain. It's his work. He writes beautiful work that I can relate to, and it's got such a human, he's got this really human touch to it. He understands people and emotion, and that's something that I think Des really appreciates someone who can understand the human condition and what it is to be alive and can articulate that. It's reassuring. I know that I'm with a person who has the capacity to understand me and cater to me in a way that, you know, some people don't. It's originally his brain, and Des being more pan-sapiosexual enjoys that essence of him. It's originally his brain, and then his big beautiful body, and then everything about him. It's his, you know, his face, that smile right there. Like, how do you even fall in love with that smile?
For like that's a great question, because I feel like for Othello, he falling in love with Des is just like the innocence and like how genuine he is. I feel like that's something that is refreshing, because I'd imagine like with Othello being in like Hollywood, where there's a bunch of like people who only think about themselves, and like I don't know, it's a cutthroat environment. Having someone that you could actually have a connection with, and I don't know, be able to take off your mask and let them see you like as like, for lack of a better word, like naked. Like that's something that's very like vulnerable, and Des is just someone that's like that with everyone. Like they're just open with everyone. So yeah.
I just pulled it from personal life experience. I wasn't forcibly removed from the closet, but I'm definitely not straight, and I'm not gay either. I like people and what they have, and I think that's why I pursue that view with Des as well, because it's honest for me. I understood what it was like for me to creep out and do this like groundhog experience, coming in and out and like trying to find out when it was safest to be honest. And I can definitely imagine. Well, a fear isn't an imagination, but I definitely knew what I was afraid of and how I was afraid of being pulled out. This falls under that category. To be outed ahead of time is just such it's an invasive, it's not fair. It'd be like if you were changing and dancing like really hard, you're having a wonderful time, and all of a sudden your blinds on your window fall down, and there's like a bunch of people standing there, and they happen to have cameras, and like, yeah, because your boyfriend is a big Hollywood star, and they're like, oh my God, like here you are, and they see that, and I don't know, it's this exposure that you're not ready for.
Yeah, and especially like coming from like looking at it from like just an actor perspective, like. Most actors just like want to make it big, like that's the dream, living the dream, and like Othello, Morgan, like he's on that path, like he's right about to like break out, like he's like almost at his prime or whatnot, and to think that there's something that's gonna like, I don't know, put a stop to all of that is just like is really disappointing, and I realize that. Like in playing with those scenes, like when it's all out on the table, there's a lot of weight that comes with that, and I don't know. It's I could just easily like I'm getting stressed talking about it because it's just like, why is something that shouldn't affect the work be the thing that people are looking at, like where he will no longer be seen as a great actor. He's seen as the gay actor or the bisexual
like
great
that
actor.
defines us.
Yeah, like
your
when
sexuality is who
when that has
are,
nothing to do with the work or like what they bring to their character or their table. Like it's just who they sleep with, and what ultimately matters is the characters that they play. Is the character that he's playing in this film straight or like can he portray that? That's what matters at the end of the day. But we're so obsessed with like who do they sleep with or whatever, and I don't know. I never quite understood that.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
Why is it a big deal?